Thank you. And thank you, Senator. Maria, you've been a real inspiration. And I want to take what you said and I want to build on it. Because what you said was, Black Lives Matter can't just be a sentence you utter. And I want you to think about that. Because what I take Black Lives Matter to be about is the fundamental inequality, racial inequality that has reigned in America for 400 years. 400 years. And when I think about that fact, I ask the following question: when have we ever had an election about equality? When was the last time we had an election where the fundamental question was equality? Because every time I remember, we've had an election where this has been an issue. This has been one issue to the side, one issue at the corner, one issue people talk about, as well as 100 other issues, like this is just one more thing we ought to be thinking about. But here's the fact. After 400 years of inequality, this can't be just one issue. This has got to be the fundamental issue, the first issue, the issue we address as a nation first, to get a democracy, so that then we can turn to all the other issues that we as a nation have to address. So when I thought about running, what I thought about was, how do we make this issue of equality the central issue? And make it the central issue in all the ways in which we're denied equality. New York Times had a story that said 400 families have given half the money that has gone into politics so far this election cycle. 400 families. So in the line of all Americans, those 400 families are at the front. That's what the politicians bend over backwards to think about, those 400 families. All the rest of us are at the end. That is inequality. When you have a system where police officers are really tax collectors, that's Ferguson, right? Police officers are tax collectors. That's a system produced by inequality, because when they decided how to tax, raise money for Ferguson, they decided the simplest way was to put the taxes on the people who were not in power. The people who are in power, the people who are giving money to the politicians, they don't have to pay the taxes because we collect it through citation. That's inequality. I think it's time we have an election about equality. Now, whether I'm at the center of that election or not, I don't know. But what I know is if you demand that this election be about equality, that this be the first issue, I know at least one party is going to have to pay attention to that. You have enormous power. And what you need to do is to begin to direct that power in a way that says, we want this to be the issue. Citizens as equal in a democracy. Now, I came here because this might be the first of my events in a campaign. If we reach our goal by next Monday, then I'm going to run. And I wanted the first of the events in my campaign to be in Ferguson, because I can't imagine a better place to say the first issue of this election ought to be equality. They say there are no second-class citizens in America. What I know is that there's business-class citizens in America, and the rest of us. And the rest of us are not equal to the business class, and we ought to have an election about that. So the first event would be in Ferguson, and that event would be an event where I get to listen to what you say. And when you say and explain how this affects you, I want to take what you've said, and I want to put it out in the national stage. That's my promise to you. What you say, the stories you tell me, the experience you spread, at least I have a chance to make that the center of this debate. And if I get a chance to be in the debates, I can tell you every single issue will be brought back to this issue of equality. Every single question will be brought back to this question of equality. They're going to be so tired of the equality man that they're going to want to get me off the stage, and maybe they will get me off the stage. But the point is, we would have started something, and it would have started here, right here in Ferguson, when you in Ferguson say you want this issue to be the first issue. You want them to address this first. You want this to be the issue we decide this election about. So I'm grateful for the chance. to hear what you have lived, to find a way to give that voice, to commit to you as much as I can commit to anyone, that I will carry what you say as broadly as I can to make it the center of this debate. And I hope, I dream, that after 400 years, we can come back in 2017 to Ferguson and recognize we won a revolution. It began right here. In honor of a man named Michael Brown, it began with the blood of many who were tied and thrown into the streets. It began here, and we will turn it into the revolution that finally brings America back to what Dr. King said America was about. In June 1961, Dr. King went to Lincoln University and he said, "America is a dream expressed in the sublime words, 'All are created equal.' And though we had not lived up to that dream, finally, he thought we could. And we can. This election, we can. If you help me, make it first." So I'm grateful for your time. I'm eager to hear what you have to say. I know I'm eager to eat. I don't know if you want to eat some too, but let's have this conversation. Thank you.